What's up everybody, Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new action figure review today from Star Wars The Black Series. We are taking a look at Darth Sidious in the Revenge of the Sith Galaxy packaging. It's taken so long to actually get a Revenge of the Sith figure in the Galaxy packaging. This is the very first, actually, right as they're going away from the slanted box, which is hilarious. And what better way to start out the Galaxy line than with Darth Sidious. Highly anticipated figure by us here on the channel and pretty much everyone in the community. One of the most wanted characters in the line as well. It took them such a long time to finally give us this Darth Sidious. You'd think this figure would have come out a long time ago, but nope, finally, now here, we're actually getting it. So let's not waste a whole lot of time. We're going to look at the package real quick, and then I just want to get this figure open. So here's the mural art. Looks pretty good. Got the little, Senate room there in the back. Here is the bio if you want to pause it and read it. Sidious is number 1 in Revenge of the Sith. Here's the barcode on the bottom. So yeah, I kind of wish they would have went with more of a deeper red. I think this orange is kind of a weird choice for Revenge of the Sith, but it's really not the biggest deal to me as I'm an opener, so the box is going to go in the garbage. Well, not this box, because this is Justin's figure, but it will end up in the trash. However, I did just feel the need to share my thoughts on that. So let's get this figure open. We'll take a look at the accessories and then the figure itself. So we'll start things out here with the lightsaber, and it looks absolutely wonderful. This is a brand new hilt. It has a little bit of gold paint on it, pretty accurate to Palpatine's design as far as my memory serves. We also have the nice thick red lightsaber blade that is removable. There is no peg for storage on the hilt itself, and there is no storage on the actual figure either. But yeah, this is awesome. Finally getting Sidious's lightsaber. It's great to see it. And then I think to everyone's surprise, we also have a pair of electricity hands, which for a standard Black Series figure to get soft goods, a lightsaber, and alternate hands all in the same package is pretty crazy. So it was great to see. I love this. I want more of this. It's always nice to get more different accessories. With these hands, they are almost 100% identical to the original Palpatine lightning hands. I have my original figure here. You can see different shade of blue. The lightning patterns are the same though. The hands are in the same gesture. Oddly enough, the pegs are different. So when you take this one out, if you try to sub the hand in, it just fits in there really loose. So it really doesn't stay at all in the old figure. But here they are side by side, and you can see I think it's the same sculpt. It's just a different peg. Although the hand sizes kind of look a little different. The new one, the hands look slightly bigger, but I don't know if that's for real or if the paint is creating some kind of optical illusion. But yeah, I'm just gonna say these are the same. So these are reused in some way, some degree from the original figure, but they still look great. I like the more vibrant blue that they went with as well. It's time for a little experimenting here. And the hand also fits very loosely in Dooku's peg if you remove the hand. But, if you really wanted to, you could put a little tack in there and it would stay in just fine. But, of course, the hand is all pale and does not match the skin tone of the other hand at all. But, if that's something you wanted to do, I guess technically it's possible. Thankfully, though, they fit perfectly in the figure they are sculpted for. Nice and tight. You don't have to worry about anything when it comes to the actual figure. All right, and here is Darth Sidious out of the packaging, looking pretty damn awesome. I do have some minor issues with the soft goods, but I think overall this is easily the best case scenario that we could have possibly gotten when it comes to the design of this figure. It is mostly reuse underneath those soft goods, which we'll definitely go over once we get them off the stand, but you can see here that they also did something a little different, something they don't typically do, where we actually have a mix of sculpted plastic and soft goods. So as you can see, the hood is sculpted hard plastic, whereas the rest of the robe and costume is soft goods. Personally, I think they did a really great job this time around with the execution. However, my one minor nitpick is just in some of the posing, the soft goods definitely look a little goofy. However, I do also fully recognize that if it was fully sculpted plastic, I wouldn't even be able to pose this figure dynamically. So it's kind of a, give and you get sort of situation. So I think overall, though, this figure has really impressed me so far. And so let's not waste any more time. We're going to go ahead, get him off the stand, and we'll take a closer look at the details. All right, so let's start out with the head sculpt here, which looks really fantastic to the naked eye. On camera, I will admit it looks a little harsh. You can't really see a lot of the nice shadowing and other bits of detail. For some reason, I'm having just a really tough time getting it to show up properly on camera, but it looks great. There's a nice kind of sort of wash over the face, so all of those nice wrinkles and sculpted details really pop out, and you can see the photoreal looks great. I think the likeness to Ian McDermott is also very nice. I think it was a good choice to go with a nice neutral expression. However, I do hope, of course, we see some other options with some more aggressive heads on this body. And so with the head, it does have independent movement on the inside of the hood. You just kind of have to really, force it to go either which way. It's not too bad. You can look up just a little bit and not really look down. The hood is a separate piece, but it is glued down in place, so it doesn't rotate with the head, it just moves in one spot. That's also kind of disappointing. It's not the end of the world, but it will definitely kill some posing options when it comes to having him looking left or right. His face is gonna kind of be obscured, and it'll definitely look a little weird in lightsaber posing. And we actually get a little bit of gold paint detail there as well. So like I said, I think they did a pretty nice job on the soft goods. I just think mainly when you start to raise the arm up for some lightsaber posing, this just kind of looks a little baggy, and it ends up having a little bit of a dollish quality look to it. It kind of comes off to me that way. I don't think it absolutely kills the figure, but I definitely would consider that when choosing my pose I'm going to put him in permanently on the shelf. To answer the other question that most people are wondering, and most people do know, but this body underneath is actually Book of Boba Fett Luke Skywalker. So you can see the little tunic there that matches the Book of Boba Fett Luke. Same legs, same arms. Only thing that's different on Palpatine is just this little overlay piece right here that obviously matches the hood and the rest of the robe outfit. Thankfully, though, it's a well-articulated body, so that means this Palpatine can really move. The old body didn't have horrible articulation either, which I definitely thought that's kind of just what they were going to do, was it was going to be the old Emperor figure underneath the robes just with a new head. And in a lot of ways, it kind of is. The Luke Skywalker body is definitely a major upgrade in terms of posability, but the old Emperor didn't have bad articulation, especially the version that didn't have the plastic lower robe. I do also think that just like the lightning hands, I think these are the old sculpt of Palpatine's hands. They just look slightly bigger. This is so weird. Like the same gesture and everything, almost the exact same sculpt, same pose. They're just like slightly larger. It's very strange. I'm not sure if that's like an illusion or what, but this figure definitely has some odd things going on about it. He doesn't fit 100% perfectly in the old Emperor chair, but you can see he sits down just fine. And if he had a soft goods hood, I'm pretty sure he could just fit in there just like the original figure. You could barely even tell anyways. Yeah, I'm not going to do a full articulation breakdown just because it is the Book of Boba Fett body. It's the exact same, there's nothing new. So he does have butterfly joints if you were curious about that. But otherwise though, just pretty standard modern Black Series articulation. It is really dynamic though, so if you wanted to do some Clone Wars posing, I think you could definitely have him in a fight with Maul or whoever else you might want to have him posed with on the shelf. He could look very good in a lightsaber clash, and eventually when we get that prequel Yoda, having those two having a showdown on the shelf should look fantastic. So I think this figure does exactly what it needs to. Comes with the lightning hands. We finally get the Sidious saber. The soft goods are executed well enough. They definitely could be a little bit better, but I think for a Hasbro Black Series figure, they are pretty dang good. And I like the mix of soft goods and hard plastic. I think when it comes to soft goods, Black Series typically struggles with the hoods. There have been some major improvements recently, but overall throughout the entire line, that's always been an issue. So I personally like the combination we see here. But now let's get into some comparisons. Let's see how he scales now that he is on a different body. Start out with my two old Palpies here. One of them is Archive, the other one is 40th Anniversary Return of the Jedi, so they're not the classic blue line version. However, it's essentially the same figure, just with updated faces. And you can see Sidious is actually a little shorter now. Next up, we have the horrible Black Series Archive Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Empire Strikes Back Yoda, which I believe the new Yoda that will be coming out soon is going to be on this same body, so this will be a pretty good idea of how the two will scale. Next up, we've got Anakin, which is also a not good figure, and Mace Windu, which is a good figure. And I think these look good together. Finally, for the Black Series, we have Kit, at least he blocked once, Fisto, and Count Dooku. I really wanted to do a cool action-y pose for the rotating base for the conclusion of this video, but the focus really likes to pick up on the lightning hand and nothing else. So here we just have, just some dynamic posing just to kind of show you what I was talking about, how the soft goods kind of poof out. So you do have to play with them a little bit to kind of get them to lay a little bit more natural, but Sidious is super dynamic here when it comes to the posing. The butterfly joints really help out. The alternate lightning hands are really nicely done as well. A lot of reuse with this figure, but I think for something like this, it can be forgiven. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Black Series Darth Sidious. This is a great figure. Even though it's tons of reuse, I think what we've got here is really special, and we definitely need to support things like this. We want more Revenge of the Sith in the Black Series. I think we are getting that, but I still want to say it. This figure pretty much has a place on any collector's shelf, so if you see it, pick it up, pre-order it. This is one you're not going to want to miss. Very essential character as well for the shelf. So I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We're always talking about Star Wars the Black Series here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.